this player so they can fit into the coach's philosophy and his plan.
2 seasons ago, United got Varane, I think, got Casemiro. These are players that have 4 or 5 Champions League under their belt, La Liga. You have Onana there. Last season he had the Golden Glove for Champions League. Let's look at Manchester United. United won, Burnley won. Last week we spoke about tenhag. This week again, that man, do you think, I don't know, sometimes you watch United play, I don't know the game, tenhag goes to press conference, he talks like, you'll be wondering if it's the same game that you watch that he's talking about. I know United have been very, very unfortunate with injuries this season, but still, their performances have even been worse than Chelsea, if you ask me. And somebody said that it's an insult to EPL that United is 6th and had the possibility of making Europe next season. In this game, again, Burnley created a lot of chances, worked that defense, and in fact, inside 2 minutes, Burnley had a one-on-one with Onana. Onana, pulled off a very fantastic save that kept them in the game. Eventually, the game ended 1-1. What's your point about? I don't know if you're a United fan right now. Would you be calling for tenhag's head, for him to be out?
I would be doing so, mainly based on. Usually, I'm pretty patient with coaches. Before I start calling for a coach to leave, it's when you don't have anything to hold on to, right? And I think with tenhag, it's just hard to see the direction that he's pulling his side to. Is he playing counter-attacking football? Is he playing possession football? The way he's setting his team up, he seems to have certain favorites that no matter how they play, he leaves them on the field. And people that he will never give a chance, a lot of people want him to give this young player from Mali? What's his name? They shot.
Is it Amadou?
Amadou, yes. They want to give him a chance. He's not giving young man a chance. Brings him in, and usually whenever he brings him in, he performs. So he's not giving him a chance. He's playing the likes of Bruno Fernandes and the rest of them, Garnacho and the rest of them all the time. He's not giving other people an opportunity. But credit to him, on the positive side, he's given quite a few youngsters breaks in the team, right? And that's a good thing. But as for the way he sets up the team, the personnel he chooses to use, it just leaves a lot to be desired. And that's why they are the most disturbing threat, the most disturbing pattern, if I may call it, is the fact that the United lose games between the 5 and 10 minutes, the last 5 and 10 minutes of every game. It happens over and over and over. When they've played very strongly, after the 80th minute, they are always susceptible to, conceding that goal that breaks everybody's heart. And you see the big boys, the experienced people like Casemiro, experienced goalkeeper like Onana, making the same mistakes, silly mistakes that's costing the team over and over again. So, yes, there's a lot to be desired coaching-wise, but still, you're still getting some mistakes from players that you're not supposed to be getting those mistakes from. So, summarily, to answer your a lot of blame lies with the coach. I just don't see where he's going, and that's what would disturb me the most if I were a United fan. If you could see where he's going, then you can say, hey, let's get rid of the players and get in new players. But he hasn't shown anything so far that he has a solid organizational, plan for the team. And then you can say, hey, let's get this player, get this player so that he can fit into the coach's philosophy and his plan.
2 seasons ago, United got Varane, I think, got Casemiro. These are players that have 4 or 5 Champions League under their belt, La Liga. You have Onana there. last season he had the Golden Glove for Champions League. He have Eriksen, who has played in the World Cup, played in Italy, was in the team that pushed Tottenham to Champions League finals. And they still find themselves in the same situation that Chelsea is right now. We talk about Chelsea, we say Chelsea don't have mature players or experienced players to guide the young ones. And this is where United is. Rashford is no longer a young player. He's been playing at this level for like 5 or 6 years now. We have players like Martial and that they've been there for 5 years. What's the problem? Which way? I remember when Casemiro came to United, it was like United was going to push City out of the championship, to win the title. So what do you think? What do you put it down to? What's happened to United?
One thing people don't understand is Premiership is a very top league, a very tough league. Most of these players that are superstars in other leagues, when they come to Premiership, with the speed, number of games, and the money that most teams can reasonably compete favorably in buying good players. So when you come to Premiership, the reality will be done on you. Casemiro was one of the best, if not among the first 5, 10 best midfielders in the world. But reality set in when he came to Premiership. Young boys will run you down. Varane, the same thing. He was run down. So Premiership, and if you look at Man U, it became a retirement home for most of these very good performing players from other leagues. Players that have maybe attained the height of their career. When Onana came to a league where defenders will face him many times. He was in the Italian league, where he probably will have 2 or 3 saves in a match. But in Premiership, people will run you down. Young boys will run you down. They will face you a million times, and is showing. So I think the problem of Man U, as it is also in Chelsea, is the coming of these older players didn't give room to introduction of young players. And when they now start introducing young players, it became like they brought in young players and too many young players to discard the older players. You see what I'm saying? Like Ugum said, when I look at tenhag, I don't see what else. I don't see what the ideas. He looks like somebody who is short of ideas, who doesn't know what else to do. He's just coming in game in, game out by luck. We win, thank God. We will lose, where he will go to dressing room and tell them, well, we're going to do better next season. That is the way I see him. I'm so much, in as much as I oftentimes criticize Arsenal, I like what Arteta did in Arsenal team. You can see the improvement. That is what I've not seen in Poch. In my Chelsea group, people will tell me that when he came in, I was one of the best, among the guys that supported him. But when I've not seen what he's doing, you cannot pinpoint. You cannot say he has solved a particular problem. He has not solved the problem of defense. Neither has he solved the problem of attack. He has not solved
So
no problem.
if you're a Man U fan, Man United fan now, what would you want the team to do, the club to do? Because the team is not performing on the pitch. They have some young players coming up, like Meno. I so much love that boy. Garnacho was very, very aggressive and stubborn in this game. He had chances. I know he missed a lot of chances, but you could see that he was aggressive. He was really willing to fight. He's always fighting. They have some very young players coming up, in that team. Do you think what should United do? Because for me, like you guys have mentioned, Casemiro looks like he's out of place in EPL. I don't think he can continue at this level. Unfortunately, they offered him a lot of money. He has, I think it was 4 or 5 years contract that he signed, just 2 years out of it. He still has about 3 years. If you want him to go, you're going to pay him off. Eriksen, for me, quality as he is, Eriksen is tired. He doesn't have the energy anymore to compete at this level, to give United what they want week in, week out. Except you're going to have him around the dressing room to help the players, but even now and then give him games. But he has been meant to like come in and try to help United win games or play week in, week out. Varane, like you mentioned, too many injuries the last 2 seasons. It looks like he can't keep up. So again, should United go the old Ferguson way? Maybe just give 1 or 2 years. So let's find quality in our academies, find a few experienced players and try to rebuild the team. Or should they go out again and look for experienced players? What do you think United should do to start to compete again? Because it looks like they are way off of Arsenal and City at this moment.
Well, there's a whole lot of restructuring that needs to be done. They've started doing the right thing by making some changes in the back room. Now it's up to them to decide what to do with the coach, because that's the next step. They've hired a new director of football. They've also hired a new sporting director that will coordinate the general outline of what the blueprint that the club will follow football-wise. Now it's up to them to make a decision on the coach. Now, the guys that have been brought in, I don't know whether they want this coach to stay. So far, they are not, we haven't seen any clear signs. Yeah, coming from them, which I think probably means that they will get rid of him. I expected a bit more in terms of support, in terms of visibility from the guys that have come in, but they've been really quiet. They've just let Tenhag handle everything. So when they make a change to the coaching now, again, that's what I've learned over the past few seasons from people that have done it right and people that have gotten it wrong. Those that have done it right usually will start from the back room, make the right changes, get a philosophy in place, then hire players based on the what the coach wants to do. You don't just get a coach that plays attacking football and carry players that cannot control that are not fast, that cannot move the ball, and give the person. The person will not be able to do anything with that. Mm-hmm. A coach that plays possession football, you carry players that are not technical enough to protect the ball, and it will be a very useless exercise. So, yeah, I think that what they need to do first is to decide whether they continue with Tenhag. If they are continuing with him, someone should sit him down and let's determine from him what his philosophy is and what he wants to do. Based on that, I saw today.
So when he was hired, did they ask him what he?
Well, you can see from the players that they bought and what has happened, it hasn't worked. So perhaps that question needs to be asked again. They've made everybody in the squad available. That's what I read this evening. I'm not sure whether that's coming from the club or coming from outside. So everybody in the club, except for 3 players, have been made available for sale. Wow. Right? Yeah. All the players except 3. And I believe those 3 are probably Menu, Bruno Fernandes, and perhaps Garnacho, I think. The rest of them have been made available for...
Including Onana.
Have been made available for sale. Again, the press, you don't just know what they're doing. So, yes, that's what I would do.
At this point, if the rumor you have is true, I could not say it's wrong or right. If they are ready to do it, mm-hmm. and support it with the right decision in terms of bringing in players and the way to go in terms of coaching as well, so be it. But again, they have to also understand that if you're going to go that route, that means you're going for a 2-3 year project before it starts with good result. You don't want to do that and expect that the new coach is going to win the league for you. It's going to take time. It's going to take time for you to build the team. Like Chelsea, the only problem I have with Poch, like Chima mentioned, you can't really see what he's trying to do. It's different thing every week. There's no consistency of action. Coaches that have succeeded in this game are coaches that have been consistent with something. Sometimes we say they are stubborn because we don't see what they see, but they keep doing the same thing. It's not working, but they keep doing it. After a while, the players get used to it and it starts to work. So Poch is not consistent with anything. This week he does this one. like some Chelsea fans are praising him last weekend that for the first time he tweaked Chelsea's approach to a game and got a result. So it's just trial and error. Maybe that's what Chelsea have been dealing with.